Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things, especially the weird ones. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Deesklops98. Thanks for the suggestion, Deesklops. You asked, why do goats freeze when they get startled? The goats aren't just pulling a fast one, but I get it. If you've ever seen one of those viral videos where a goat hears a loud noise and instantly falls over, like it's been sniped from a distance. It looks fake, like suspiciously fake, but it's 100% real. So what's the deal? Are these goats defective? Do they need a firmware update? Or are they just really bad at surviving? Let's dive into the wonderfully weird world of fainting goats, right here on Explaining Everything. First things first, not all goats do this. We're talking about a specific breed called the myotonic goat, also known as the fainting goat, the Tennessee stiff-leg goat, or, my personal favorite, that goat that flops like a fainting Victorian lady. These goats have a condition called myotonia congenita. Sounds serious, right? It is. If you're a goat trying to run away from, say, a slightly aggressive squirrel, what happens is, when a myotonic goat gets startled, loud sound, sudden movement, someone yelling "boo" like it's Halloween, the muscles in their body tense up and don't immediately relax. For a few seconds, they freeze completely. Their legs stiffen, and if they're standing on a slope, or just, having a clumsy day, they topple over. And here's the kicker, they're fully conscious the entire time. So, how does this work? Myotonia congenita is a genetic condition that affects the way muscles relax. In healthy animals and humans, when a muscle contracts, say, to jump or run, it can relax just as quickly. But in myotonic goats, there's a little hiccup in the system. The muscle contracts, but then it's like, hold on, we're just gonna stay tense for a sec. Think of it like a really enthusiastic intern who slams the brakes but forgets to let go. That delay, even if it's just 5 to 10 seconds, is enough for gravity to step in and say, it's flop o'clock. Now, this sounds like an evolutionary disaster, right? A goat that freezes when scared? How is that still around? Well, funny thing. In the wild, freezing up when threatened isn't a winning strategy. It's basically like screaming, "Here I am!" and then offering yourself on a little goat-sized platter. So no, these goats weren't shaped by nature. They were shaped by selective breeding. Myotonic goats date back to the 1880s in Tennessee. A farm worker named John Tinsley brought a few of these unusual goats with him, and people noticed this, let's say, special feature. Some farmers actually liked it, because when the goats froze, it made them easier to herd and harder to climb over fences and escape. Also, they were stockier and more muscular, which made them good meat goats. Yes, their unfortunate tendency to faceplant under pressure was somehow seen as a perk. It's like saying, sure, this car has no brakes, but look how shiny the paint is. But, do they actually faint? Nope. That's a bit of a misnomer. They don't actually lose consciousness. Calling them fainting goats is like calling your printer a rage-inducing demon box. It's emotionally accurate, but not technically correct. When a myotonic goat is startled, its brain stays alert the whole time. It just happens to be trapped in a body that decided to lock all the doors for a few seconds. They usually recover quickly, get up, shake it off, and carry on with their day like nothing happened. Some don't even fall over. They just go stiff-legged and freeze in place like they're pretending to be a statue in a street performance. And the goats themselves? They don't seem particularly bothered. In fact, older goats learn to manage it. They still get startled, but they've figured out how to lean against stuff or do a casual slow sit like, "Ah yes, just remembered I need a break right now." Okay, real talk. Some people wonder if it's cruel to laugh at fainting goats. After all, they're clearly startled, right? That's a valid question. But here's the thing. As weird as this condition is, it's not painful. The goats aren't suffering, and the freezing episode doesn't hurt them or cause long-term damage. It's just a few seconds of nope before everything goes back to normal. Responsible goat owners don't go around scaring their goats for laughs. But if a door slams and a goat tips over like it's fainting in a soap opera, it's okay to giggle a little. The goat's not mad. Probably. So, why do some goats freeze when they get startled? Because they've got a rare genetic condition that locks their muscles up temporarily. They're not fainting, they're not broken, and they're definitely not doing it for TikTok clout. They're just wired a little differently. And if you ever see a goat tip over at the sound of a sneeze, now you know it's not drama, it's biology. Very weird, very floppy biology. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and remember, even though they freeze up from loud sounds, they're still the goats. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.